Hello and good day to you. You're once again welcome to MES on Constructions, where we discuss all things engineering and architecture. Today, we'll be learning how to use AutoCAD and also considering drawing lines and polylines and other things. But before further ado, if you like our videos, kindly subscribe to our channel to encourage us to keep making videos like this. You can also hit your notification bell to get notifications on our future videos. We will also appreciate you giving our content a like, sharing our content with friends, and leaving a comment in the comment section so that we can interact with you and know what we can do to serve you better. Thank you. Right now, let's get into the video. So this is the AutoCAD interface. As you can see, it's quite bland, so I want to first go here to enable my grid mode. So after enabling my grid mode, what I need to do before I can draw a line is to enable this, but I'm not going to do that because I want to show you something about that. So also, what I also need to do is I need to set my units. I need to make sure that I'm using the right units to draw. So I usually love my units to be in meters. So what I'm just going to go here is I'm going to change this to decimal, give my position to 0 because I want it in millimeters rather. So I'm going to go here, choose millimeters, and I'm going to OK. I don't need angles for now for what you're going to do, so you just go OK here. But you realize that if you draw any line, it's still going to be probably drawing in inches. See, it's probably still drawing in inches. Let me go here. Let me just go here. So I want to show you that. Let's go here. So escape. So let me just quickly trim this off and trim this off so that this can look good. So if I go to dimensions, you see probably that it's still giving me something like inches. See, it's inches, and I actually don't really want that. I don't want my dimensions to be in inches. So what I need to do and do more is I need to go to my annotate, and you can see right here my unit of dimension is standard. So I can go here to go and manage my dimension style. My dimension style, I'll go to modify, and here I'll change it back to decimal so that I can change the to that and that and that and that. So I think that's just all about that. So I can OK this and close. So when I go back here and click dimensions, and I go and look at my dimensions, you see that it's giving me in millimeters right now. I can actually increase the size of my dimensions as well, but let me adjust it to be like 10 or something. Let's put it to 10. Yeah, you can now see that it's much bigger and we can easily see it. So now in order to be able to do other dimensions, let's say we have something that stretches on, you can just continue dimension here. Let's say we have something like, let's go back to our home to go and click on our lines. Let's say you want to increase your line, the length of your line, something like this, something like this. And what this does, what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to snap these edges to each other so that I can have a straight line before me. So escape. So now let's say I want to move this, I want to check the dimension of this place to this place too. What I just need to do, I'll go here and I'll just put my cursor here and I'll go to continue dimension, which is just going to continue dimension from any step. Then I'm going to go here and left click, and that's going to give me the dimension of, so this place is 698, this place is 996. You can also try to adjust this here, the dimension, you can move the dimension line, you can move text only, you can move text to leader, you can actually do whatever you want with the dimensions here. And you can also, if you want to really have a general settings for your dimension, you can go back here to make sure that you modify your dimension in points. There are some dimensions that you need to place in some places that will not really require a general modification. You see the dimensions of this place are well written, but one thing you realize about this is that you can't really be sure that your lines are perfectly straight And if you want to check if your lines are perfectly straight, because whether the straightness of your lines will affect the accuracy of your dimensions. If your lines are not properly straight, you understand, your dimensions might be lacking in accuracy. So in order to check whether these lines are straight, I can use the construction lines to do that. I want to do something right before I click it, and what I want to do is I want to create layers. You see that the layers you have here are actually default layers. I want to create my own layers, and to create my own layers, what I need to do, I need to go here. I'll go here, then I'll right click, then I'll create new layer. So I can give this layer construction lines. And I also want to create another layer. Let me create another layer and call it lines. So what I want to do is I want to take this, this my lines and put it into lines. Then I'll take the construction lines and put it into construction lines. So if I want to put my construction lines into lines, I've not drawn the construction lines yet. So what I can do is I can just go to my construction lines right here and make it, the template where I want the construction lines to be. Then I'll go here and go to click my construction lines. So you left click. Once you left click, it tells you, it gives you the opportunity to choose wherever you're going. So this is my endpoint. So, and I want it to be straight. And one thing we're supposed to do was we're supposed to go draw this in our auto mode in order to ensure that we are clear that it's perfectly straight and the construction lines usually stretch to infinity. So let me escape this and go and do just that. So I'll go to auto mode right now, and I'll now go back to get my construction lines. So as you can see, this is my construction lines, and I'll put it here. What this does is that it makes sure that whatever I'm drawing, whether it's a vertical construction line or is a horizontal construction line, it's going to be perfectly straight. So I can just go there, click that. So I can just go click that. That's it. My horizontal. So this is my vertical. So now, and once you make this vertical and horizontal construction lines, the other things you need to be doing is, especially when you're checking for straight lines and all that, you just need to copy it. So I can copy this, and just use it to check for this again. Understand? So I can copy this, and move it, use it to check for this. When you are copying, you have to make sure that you pick a reference point that it's relatable, so that you won't be getting things twisted. So what you realize with this construction line is that it exposes the error in the line that I initially drew. So you realize that while this line is starting here, there is a little bit of deviation when it got here, which means it's not straight. And when it got here, there was also a even higher level of deviation, a higher margin of errors. To make this easier for us, we can go and give our construction lines, the layer, a different color. So let's give it the layer of the color of blue. Okay, so when you give it the color of blue, what happens is that it turns blue, but realize that it's overshadowing our lines. In order to do this, what we need to do is we need to take all our construction lines and go and put them behind our lines. In order to do that, you need to go here, you go to draw order, then you send back, and you realize our lines are now in the front while the construction lines are behind. So now we can easily edit our lines. We want this line to actually be straight. In order to make it straight, you just click the line, then you go to this particular point, then you take the point, you just move it and snap it right here. So as you can see, that's done. Even though it affected our dimensions in a way, whatever you're doing to your lines, your dimensions are parented to your lines, so it affected our dimensions to the height of our dimensions, but you realize that the height of our dimensions too wasn't straight. So let's correct this one too. So we take this and then put it here, then we go here, then we take this and then put it here, then we have our straight line right there. So as you can see that this one is even still uneven, and that's because the margin of error kept increasing till it got here. So if you want to get this right, if you really want to get this right, you have to remove this dimension. Let me move this back, draw order, send back, and I want to get this send back also, so that we can have all our. So what I want to do is I want to get this continue dimension, then end dimension here. So now you see that we don't have that problem again. So if you don't have that problem, the dimension is continuous because our lines are perfectly straight. So now let me try to turn off this construction lines layer by going here. So I'll turn it off. It's asking me questions because I'm actually on construction lines layer, which I'm not really supposed to be when I want to do something. So I want to move my lines to, I want to move all these lines, I want to move them, everything here, I want to move it to like that. So I'll go here, then I'll go to click on lines. This ensures that everything that I highlighted is now moved into line. So anything you click, anytime you click anything here now, it's going to be showing you that it's on the layer of called lines. So now we have that. So what I want to do next is I want to now draw using this auto mode. Now you know that we have our auto mode on. So I want to go to lines. I'll click on this to draw my lines. So I want the reference point to be somewhere around here. So I want to use the existing lines to be my reference point. So I'm going to click here, as you can see. So you can also type the length of the line. Let's type it as 3000. So and you see when you type it as 3000, it goes 3000. So we can type this as, let's say, 1500. So then, just like I did the other one, you can just connect like this, snap, connect, then you go here, then snap. This is so easy, and why is it so easy is because we already have our auto mode on. So now let's go and enable our construction lines again, and let's check if these lines are indeed straight. And you see what I'm trying to say right now. Escape. If you move these construction lines now, let me move it from where it is right now. From here now, I want to move it here, then I'll put it here. Yeah, I'll put it here. Yeah, you see that it's perfectly straight, it's perfectly aligned, and we don't have the problem that we have when we're drawing this. And if you take this also, you can also take this same construction line to go and use to check the bottom line. See that it's also perfectly straight. See, there are no discrepancies. And if you want to check the vertical lines too, you can take this, you can move it, you can also copy, but I just don't want the scene to be cumbersome. And you see that it's perfectly aligned with no discrepancy, and that's what your construction line makes you to have. You can also have inclined construction lines, you can also have that, but for now let's stick to just this straight construction lines in the X and Y axis. You can also dimension this. It's pretty easy. You just go click your dimensions, and then you click where you want, then you go to where your destination, your start point and your end point, and then you can assign the height of the dimension by just typing it. So let's give this one, let's say 300. So that's where it's gonna put it. So you can do that, and you can also just manually place it. So you have this to be 3000, which was what you actually really typed in initially. What we want to do next is we want to see how we can make polylines. Polylines are very much like lines, but polylines have jointed edges. So like if you want to draw a polyline right now, let's try to draw a polyline. I go to my polyline and I want to set it to be 1000. So I still want it to be the same dimension, the same depth. So you realize that what polyline does is that it connects, let me make it 3000 also. Then whatever this is, let me just snap that and then connect the edges. So by the time you go here and click now, you realize that it's showing you this, which means all the edges are connected. Unlike line, if you choose line, you see that this is an individual edge, this is an individual edge, this is an individual edge, and this is an individual edge. You can turn it into a polyline by just going to your command line and pressing join. So you can do that, join. So the command join turns this into a polyline, and you can see that it's now exactly like what you have right here. this should wrap up the lecture for today. Thanks for watching.